I think chefs try too hard sometimes, and you're trying to create dishes out of the million things that are available. But if you can just wander into your back garden and find the most amazing seasonal produce that is there for that week, bring it back to the kitchen, and then suddenly you've got a dish that is just stunning, and it's Mother Nature that's helped you do that. Today we're going to be cooking a halibut dish. We're going to be using lots of foraged ingredients. We're going to be trying to build the flavours up with braised kombu, which is a seaweed. We're going to do a really slowly cooked onion juice as the sauce. We're going to pickle, and we're going to braise and poach some wild garlic in all sorts of different forms. And we're going to tie that all together with some miso, which is like a Japanese fermented bean paste. First job for us is going to be preparation of the halibut. So this is our little brine, our salt solution with our gorse flowers and our lemon. We're going to pop our fish into here, give that about half an hour in there. Halibut's not the most intensely flavoured fish, so the brining process kind of brings it all together with the rest of the ingredients. The sauce is in essence just a very slow cooked onion juice basically. Peel them, put them in a tray, cover them in foil, and then whack them in the oven. Leave them for about 4 hours. What we're trying to do is bring out all the natural sugars from the onions, and it makes a really rich, sweet onion stock. So this next part is pickled garlic. We'll start by simply making the pickle liquor, and it's a white wine and white wine vinegar pickle liquor. So we're going to bring our wine, sugar, vinegar and salt to the boil. And then once we've done that, we will add our aromats. Lemon zest, tarragon, gorse flower, and gorse has got a hint of coconut to it. It's beautiful. So this is our foraged wild garlic. It's obviously a bit of a mess, covered in mud and all sorts of stuff. I've washed the majority of the mud off the bottom of the roots, and then we're just going to prepare all of the relevant bits from it. Green never does particularly well in a pickle, it goes very grey, so we're going to chop it off just below or slightly in. As it starts to go pale green, that's a good amount of stalk. Garlic can be quite aggressive, but this is a lot more delicate. We're trying to preserve the real kind of crisp crunch that you get as a natural part of this vegetable. So the next stage, you go through and you pick off all of these buds. And then last but not least, the scabes themselves. So the stalk which the plant sends up for its flower to sit on top of is this kind of three-sided thing. And this is a beautiful bit of vegetable on its own. It's got a nice bit of texture. It takes cooking, or a little bit of cooking, and you can use that just on its own. So we've got our prepared bulbs and our berries. For this specific dish, we're going to put a bit of fennel through there as well. So if you're making pickles or relishes like this, you can load a load of different vegetables into the same pickle in one go. And in this case, I'm going to do some fennel, which will work really nicely with the dish at the other end. The hot pickles will pickle much, much quicker. So a hot pickle you can use within a couple of hours probably. If you're doing something like pickled carrots and you apply a bit of heat to it, the pickle really absorbs into it. So things like these garlic bulbs and berries, they really do need to be sat in the fridge in their pickle liquor for a couple of weeks probably to really maximise them. But you're in essence, you're just covering those ingredients with your pickle liquor. Pop them in the fridge, give them a couple of weeks, and there you go. So our halibut, it's had about half an hour in brine. We're going to use the onion juice, the stock that we've got from our roasted onion or baked onions, as the liquid basically that's going to steam. And when we're ready to plate, that's literally going to take 4 or 5 minutes on the stove to come to the boil and steam. So we'll just leave that on one side for the moment. So our kombu, that onion stock, literally cover some dried kombu, you buy it dried generally, wash it so you don't have too much salt on it, into the bottom of a roasting tin, cover it with some of that stock, whack it in the oven about 110 degrees for 4 hours, and it'll come out really soft like this. So the first job is the Peter's Yard Rye Crispies. So it's chips and bits. Imagine those little crunchy, crispy bits that you get with your chips and bits. We're kind of creating that basically, and we're going to season it up with all sorts of goodness. So the first job is we powder these crisps over here. So we've just in essence got a rye flour, but because it's been baked already, it's got a real kind of depth to it. So rye flour wouldn't have quite the same effect. You're looking for a coating consistency basically, not too thick, not too stodgy. So we've got our tempura batter, our Rye Crispy batter, and we're just going to use a siphon gun to aerate it. So the idea is then we use the fryer to drop this aerated batter into, so we get these tiny little balls of batter basically. So this is the crunchy topping. Once they're drained, then we're going to season them up with all of the other bits and pieces that will bring this dish to life. And one of the most important parts about this dish is something called bottarga, which is a cured, dried roe. It adds kind of real depth of fish flavour. Fennel pollen, and again it's that aniseed thing we're trying to get to lift our protein. And then last minute we're going to fold chive flowers through it. Right, it's time to plate. We've done a lot of the preparation already. We've prepped the halibut, we've got those onions cooking right on at the beginning. Now it's time to kind of put it all together. So we're using the freshest foraged local seasonal produce, so we don't want to do too much with it. It's about this wild garlic, it's about the flowers, there's loads of freshness there. So this is your steamed halibut with Peter's Yard Rye Crispies, wild garlic, bottarga and brown onion juice.